Hello. Now that we're settled into this private arrangement through Patreon, I should like to speak to you about the depth of consciousness that is not available to most people. Now, all of you, to some degree or another, are, in fact, serious people, spiritually serious, inquisitive as to who you are and your purpose for being, your search into consciousness. You're not the average man or woman. Your subscription to this site is proof of that. So I'm not going to speak to you as I do the average man, the average woman. For however simply I do speak, it is not understood. There's something missing. You understand? The average man, the average woman has been trained toward reward and punishment based on understanding of the particular point of view that has been programmed into them. And that follows them throughout life. It is a very basic aspect of satanic mind control training. Stimulus, response, reward and punishment. It enhances the reactive intellect, the divisive aspect of consciousness. That's the consciousness of the average civilized man and woman. They have been trained into that reactive type automaton that reacts to symbols, words, ideas, superstitions, myths, legends. You understand? It's all fantasy. It's all illusion. From that illusion is built our civilized world. It's a world of ideas, illusions, ideas that are in one's mind, the conscious intellect, the programmable mind, the satanically ruled mind. I'm going to speak to you of the holistic, subconscious mind. You have that operating right now, this moment. It is the holistic consciousness of what is expressing itself. If you understand what I'm saying to you, there is a oneness. There is no you, there is no I, or me. There is just that which is expressing itself in the moment. That is truth. Now, I have much tried over the past 25 years to convey this energy. It can be felt, but it is reacted to by the average intellect, because the average intellect feels insulted. It feels that they are being exposed in their limitations, and they are, because they are believers. They believe in symbols of what is. They are blocked from penetrating the walls of their own belief-ridden conscious mind and seeing that which is beyond, the timeless truth. Beyond time, beyond space is the energy of the infinite. Now, whether one can put that into words or not is irrelevant. That's what every one of you is striving for. Trying to find out who you are and your purpose for being. And I assure you, the truth of that can only be grasped by the subconscious, holistic, the mind of oneness. Understand? Truth, love, life. That's the kind of energy that is the essence of all creation. And it passes through phases and ultimately reacts into the dualistic realm of thought, the realm of divided consciousness, of dualism, of the you and the not you. Now, that's where most of you are. You're fallen men and women. You've lost your balance. You've lost your stance. In essence, you are the God responsible for the quality of your life by your actions and by all that those actions bring about. You understand? Responsibility. Now look at the civilized world of man, the split world of men who allow other men to do their thinking for them, to make decisions for them, to take responsibility for their actions that dictate the quality of life, their life. Understand? No one can make that decision for you but yourself. That's the lesson you must learn in this consciousness. You must transcend the dualistic energy that causes you to be in conflict sufficient for you to make up your mind before you act. And if you can do that, your actions manifest according to the degree of freedom you have allowed your energy to act in. If you have doubt, you're limited by that self-doubt. That's the nature of the satanically ruled intellectual mind, the dualistic mind. That is the mind of doubt, and that doubt must be understood, resolved, before one can act. And only you can act on behalf of your life. Therefore, you must take responsibility. Now look at our our country here in the United States of America, not the corporate United States. That's something quite different. That's a fraud. And many of you, because of your conditioning, are not capable of perceiving the holistic, the whole of that fraud, and therefore you believe. You are acclimated. You become cultured. Culture. There's a word for you. What does it mean? You're fashioned according to pressure, to trauma. And that causes you to believe, to be accepted. You all want to be accepted. You all want to have a seamless life, empty confusion, of conflict, of violence. You want peace, but you never achieve true peace. Whatever peace that you do acquire, it is short-lived because you begin to doubt yourself. That's your intellectual mind acting out. If you are in balance of the subconscious mind and the conscious satanic intellect, you are a Christ. You are able to use the subconscious mind, the creative mind, to create the quality of life that you fashion as a fantasy, such as your belief in civilized life. That's the life of birth and death. It's all fantasy, all ideas that are held within your mind and found nowhere else. The activities of thought between birth and death are what is known as life to most of you. But that's not what life is. It's a kind of life, a partial life. Now, the fact is, you are believers. You believe in ideas that have been programmed into you. And that which is programmed into you are lies. Because a lie is nothing more than a partial truth. That which represents something that it is not. Because it cannot be complete. It cannot be whole, holistic, holy. One must transcend that intellect in order to go beyond the barriers, the walls that have been erected by belief systems. You all believe in government. Government is nothing more than words. You all believe in the religion, and that is nothing more than words of a different nature, but words nevertheless, which are representative of energies that otherwise are not discerned. They have not yet been defined. It is the undefined spirit that is truth, that is God, that is holy. Once you define it, it becomes a word. And that word has power only to intellectuals who are limited human beings who believe in words. The Bible, for example. begins with Word is God, truth, nonsense. That's the satanic definition of an undefined energy. And that undefined energy truly is what is. That is God. This is what I'm going to speak to you of. The ability to transcend your limitations. That's the reason you're a member of this platform. And it's for those who are serious about finding out what life is all about. I have been at it for 25 years in the public arena, and you can see I have hardly made a dent in the consciousness of people who have been trained to be limited believers. So I set them aside and let them live. That makes the difference between those who achieve a salvation, a coming to oneness, holistic beingness. You understand? The rest of the people who continue to believe in partial images and ideas are lost. And that's the world of illusion that one is called history, the cataclysms, the cycles of cataclysms that continue to wipe out the fantasies of billions and billions of so-called lives. They're merely ideas that are contained within the infinite arena of undefined energy that come and go in a conscious, intellectual sort of way. Therefore, it is tangible, it is material, and definable. And that's what most of you call life. It's a kind of life, a partial life. But it's not the whole of life. Because life is infinite. Life is God. Life is truth. Life is the Christ state of consciousness. And every one of you are potential Christs seeking a holistic sense of infinite intelligence that you feel within you, but you can't express. Stick around. That's what we're all about. I invite all of you on Patreon to question me, to go into those areas of concern to answer your questions. But I ask also that you remain open to the answer, because I will not argue with you. I will not debate with you. I will give you the truth, and you may do with it what you will. That's enough for today. Peace be with you.